Have you ever dreamed of owning your very own super powerful water shuriken?
A water shuriken is versatile, inexpensive, fits in your pocket, and all you need is this handy dandy mold. Simply add water, and voila!
Ooh. Oops.
I forgot to say set it in the freezer before the voila.
Well, luckily the Pokemon we're featuring today doesn't need a mold to make a water shuriken, and it doesn't need to freeze them either.
We're talking about the water and dark type Pokemon, Greninja.
Hi, I'm Maple.
And I'm Spruce.
Welcome to Beyond the Pokédex, where we talk about what makes each Pokemon unique, from 1 to 1,000 and beyond. This entry is all about number 658, Greninja.
Greninja, the ninja Pokemon, is the final evolution of the Kahlo's first partner Pokemon, Froakie.
And it lives up to its name. Greninja moves with speed and grace. Can I borrow that towel? Thank you.
Unlike Maple, when Greninja throws water, it's compressed into sharp throwing stars that spin with such speed they can cut through metal.
And much like the mess I just made, Greninja can appear and disappear quickly.
And it makes those throwing stars with the mucus excreted from its thighs.
Ew. But also cool.
Greninja has a long tongue it wears like a scarf, and that tongue scarf can sense movements in the air. So even if it can't see its enemy, it can feel them approaching.
And that's how this ninja stays ahead of the game.
Speaking of games, let's talk about how to get Greninja.
In Pokemon X and Pokemon Y, you'll need to choose Froakie as your first partner Pokemon.
Help it evolve into Frogadier by reaching level 16, and then starting at level 36, it can hit its final evolution.
You guessed it, Greninja.
More recently, you can find Froakie in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet in the coastal biome from the Indigo Disc DLC. A Greninja with the Mightiest Mark was also available through 7-star Terra raids.
Sounds mighty fine to me.
Greninja has Torrent as an ability and the coveted Protean as a hidden ability.
I remember that one. Protean is the ability that changes a Pokemon's type to the type of move it's using for the remainder of the battle.
That's exactly right. And since Greninja moves quickly, it gets access to a lot of powerful moves of various types. But that's not even its most impressive ability.
How are you gonna top Protean?
In Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, Greninja gets a new ability and a new form. With Battle Bond, Greninja transforms into Ash Greninja.
Whoa, Ash Greninja? An icon.
The only way to obtain it was by completing the demo for the games, which then could be transferred to your main game. Ash Greninja has higher stats and an even stronger water shuriken only if Greninja caused another Pokemon to faint through a damaging move.
Allow me to demonstrate. I really thought that would be ready by now.
Make this look a lot easier in those cooking shows.
Truly.
You've got to get it while it's hot, or room temperature as the case may be, because Ash Greninja can't be obtained in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Plus, Ash Greninja was never allowed in competitive play.
Aww.
However, you can still get access to the ability Battle Bond. It instead raises Greninja's attack, special attack, and speed by 1 stage once per battle.
Nice. So what about Greninja hold the Ash?
While not the most common, Greninja has seen some high-level play in the competitive video game championships. In the 2015 and 2018 season, it was most often used as a fast attacker who could threaten to knock out slower Pokemon.
They don't even see Greninja coming.
Once Greninja got access to Ice Beam, it was super effective in knocking out one of the most common Pokemon in the format, Landorus Therian form.
And yet there was little glory for Greninja in the VGC?
Greninja was pretty popular in singles play, but a niche pick in doubles. Even so, Greninja has made top 8 on multiple occasions at various regionals.
Commendable. Now allow me to tell you how Greninja crushes the Pokemon trading card game competitions.
It can allow players to throw cards like Shuriken?
No, but since its debut in the Kalos starter set, there have been over 20 Greninja cards. Greninja cards are typically water type or darkness type Sage 2 Pokemon, and Greninja Break was particularly powerful in competitive play.
How powerful are we talking?
At the 2016 World Championships, Cody Walensky scored 2nd place. His deck, known as Ninja Blitz, was published and centered around Greninja Break. Break cards are unique in that they're evolutions you place sideways on top of other cards.
Really breaking things up.
There are a couple of other big wins in 2016 for Greninja decks. Burt Walters placed 5th at the World Championships, and Drew Kennett won the Phoenix Regional Championships.
All thanks to Greninja.
No doubt. And that's not even the most awarded Greninja card. May I introduce Radiant Greninja?
Ooh, I've seen this one.
Makes sense. It's in a variety of decks because it has the incredibly useful ability of concealed cards, which allows you to draw 2 cards if you discard 1 energy card. With Radiant Greninja in their deck, Rikudo Ohashi won the 2022 World Championships in the Juniors division, and Torrid Recleb finished second at the 2023 World Championships.
Go Radiant Greninja!
You can also find Radiant Greninja on the offense as an attacker in decks like Lost Zone Box, a popular pick for the 2023 World Championships. With Moonlight Shuriken, if you discard 2 energy from it, Radiant Greninja does 90 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon.
That's some serious pressure.
Seems Greninja has a knack for attacking Pokemon on the bench. In the Twilight Masquerade expansion, Greninja EX has a fighting Terror type. With Mirage Barrage, if you discard 2 energy from it, Greninja EX does 120 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Not only that, but it can also attack with Shinobi Blade. For the cost of only 1 water energy, it does a whopping 170 damage and lets you add any card from your deck to your hand.
That sounds super powerful. Speaking of powerful, has there ever been an Ash Greninja card?
Yes! In the XY Black Star Promos expansion, Ash Greninja EX is a basic Pokemon with the attack Dancing Shuriken, which, after flipping 3 coins for every heads, gets you times 20 damage. The attack can even be used on, you guessed it, benched Pokemon.
No surprise it made its way into the TCG. It is one of the best storylines in the animated series.
Makes sense, you know, given the name.
Ash and Greninja go together like mac and cheese, peanut butter and jelly.
Water and throwing stars.
As it turns out, yes! Ash and Greninja have a deep connection that creates pure battle magic.
Isn't Froakie the first Pokemon Ash catches in Kalos?
Catch is a strong word. Froakie knew the only way it could reach its potential was to find the right trainer, and by the time it sees Ash in Professor Sycamore's lab, it had already rejected a bunch of trainers.
Froakie has a good eye.
In the Village of Ninjas, anybody who's somebody trains a Greninja, like these 2 ninjas, Sanpei and Saizo. And in the episode A Festival of Decisions, Ash's Frogadier evolves trying to save that very village.
From what?
Let me set the scene.
Work your magic.
When a powerful and power-hungry ninja named Kagetomo from Ninja Corp kidnaps the Hanzo, the chief of Ninja Village, Ash joins the rescue mission. During a heated battle, Pikachu is about to be struck by Bishop's vicious Shadow Claw. Ash's buddy Frogadier jumps to shield Pikachu from the blow, and in the process, Frogadier evolves into Greninja.
Wow, the power of friendship really does prevail.
That was so deep.
Thank you.
It's especially true for Ash and his Greninja because later in the battle, although they're not quite sure what's going on when they get bathed in bright blue light, we see the first glimpse of Ash Greninja.
And of course, they win the battle against the bad guys.
You bet! Ash Greninja KOs Bishop with a single cut.
Impressive.
But it still takes some time for Ash and Greninja to perfect the battle magic that is Ash Greninja. The first time they reach the final Ash Greninja form is in the episode Championing a Research Battle. During a battle with the champion of the Kalos region, Diantha, and her Mega Evolving Gardevoir, Ash and Greninja show off their uniquely powerful form. Ash and Greninja become a fusion even Diantha has never seen, what we of course know to be Ash Greninja.
Incredible.
Truly, but the form doesn't always go so smoothly. Ash and Greninja have to work hard to master it.
Nothing worth having comes easy.
You're just dropping pearls of wisdom today. In a full-strength battle surprise, Ash wants to show off to his pal Sawyer, but during their battle, he just can't seem to recreate Ash Greninja.
That's humbling.
In true Ash form, a couple of episodes later, in Seeing the Forest for the Trees, Ash and Greninja had their fusion form on lock, but it was tough to get these 2 back together. After losing a battle to the Snowbell City gym leader Wulfric, Ash hikes into the forest alone to deal with his defeat, and Greninja runs away.
Losing is hard.
Not as deep, but true.
Hey, I'm doing my best here.
Anywho, Ash encounters some Spupa out on a limb during a snowstorm. Ash leaps into action to rescue them, but the tree branch snaps as he helps the last one. Luckily, Greninja is nearby and saves Ash and Spupa.
Hooray!
Not so fast. Once Spupa gets blown away in a strong wind, Ash and Greninja know the only way they can save it is together. Then Greninja becomes Ash Greninja and rescues Spupa.
Can I hooray now?
Yes!
Hooray!
The whole ordeal reminds Ash of why he became a Pokemon trainer in the first place, and it also reminds Greninja just how much of a truly caring trainer Ash is. From that day on, Ash and Greninja have their unique form perfected, and their bond is unbreakable.
Unlike the glass I may or may not have broken earlier.
That's not to say, though, that their bond hasn't been tested. Together at the Kalos League, Ash and Greninja go on to defeat Titus and Altaria in the first round of the Kalos League.
Sounds good so far.
But after they bested Sawyer and his Mega Evolving Sceptile in the semifinals, which is one of the coolest matches I've ever seen, they're unable to bring home the gold and are defeated by Elaine's Mega Charizard X in the finals. Ash and Greninja then go their own separate ways.
What? Why?
Ash knows Greninja is needed in Kalos to protect the region, so it leaves Ash and joins a legendary Pokemon Zygarde, also known as Squishy.
Perhaps the cutest nickname for a legendary Pokemon ever.
While it's tough to see them follow their own paths, you can still catch Greninja in some of my favorite Pokemon movies.
Because Greninja doesn't just throw stars, it is one.
It's featured in the 17th Pokemon movie, Diancie and the Cocoon of Destruction.
Ooh, that's a good one.
But the bad guy Riot also has a Greninja on hand, making for some pretty sweet battle action. Greninja also stars in the animated short Bubble Beam Berry Blast on Pokemon's YouTube channel. In that one, it helps encourage Piplup to knock down berries from a tree.
Cute! Guess you don't have to just be Ash to share some great moments with Greninja.
Facts. Spruce Greninja has a ring to it.
It does. Maple Greninja, also catchy.
And you have so many chances to team up. In the action game Pokemon Rumble World, Greninja is the back boss of Dewdrop Bay's Castle Moat and can be recruited as a playable character. It's the boss of Area 03's 5th stage in Pokemon Picross, Renegade Meadow in puzzle game Pokemon Battle Troze, and Expert Stage 24 in Pokemon Shuffle. Through evolving the player character of Froakie, Greninja is also playable in Pokemon Super Mystery Dungeon.
Whoa, that's a lot.
I'm not finished. Greninja is also a playable character in Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo 3DS and Wii U, as well as Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. And Greninja, one of the original 19 playable characters in Pokemon Unite, is also one of the most decorated.
Tell me what it's won, Spruce.
At the 2022 Unite World Championships, Overlord picked up a 5 KO streak with Greninja in a crucial fight in the first day of competition.
The whole team? No way.
Yes way. Sounds like the Shuriken are ready. Let's test them out.
Yes, but first we have a challenge for you trainers watching. Name the episode where Ash's Frogadier evolves into Greninja.
Leave your answer in the comments below.
Thanks for tuning in to another entry of Beyond the Pokédex. And remember, the Pokédex is only the beginning.
Okay, it's not safe to actually throw water shuriken, but I think tossing them into a drink is fair game.
Only one way to find out.
Let's do this. Here's how to make my family's signature punch, the Blue Ninja.
Because the sugar rush sneaks up on you?
No, because it's mostly blue food coloring.
Oh.
Then we add the pineapple juice.
Say when.
When? Now you just chill with a festive water shuriken and voila!
Cute!
Cheers.
Oh, that is a lot of blue food coloring flavor.
Just like Mom used to make.